but they also sell like ice creams, Cook Sisters, things like that. And on a Sunday, it's fresh. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're doing well. This week's episode is a recap of the Mother's Day weekend that passed. I can tell you it was very, very uneventful. So this episode might just be very, very short. So let's get straight into it. Mother's Day weekend starts like 2 weeks before Mother's Day because we always ask my mom, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Have you got any ideas? And we also bombard her by asking her what gift she wants. When I tell you, there's never a plan, that's exactly what happened. So Friday we asked again, like, what do you want? What do you want? Where do you want to go? What's the deal? And no answer was received. Saturday it was raining so badly and we just ended up chilling at home. And then Sunday we ended up going to Macro. Sunday morning of Mother's Day. My brother actually went to buy donuts at the garage up the road because we needed a bread, and he bought Krispy Kreme donuts for my mom. 2 boxes of 3 donuts and then one of those small boxes with 8 powdered donut holes that are stuffed with chocolate. So my mom got to choose, and then we ended up basically cutting the donuts into pieces so she could get a taste of the different flavors. So that was nice. And then we went to Macro after that, and it was actually a very quick trip to Macro, nothing major. I got a whole bunch of baking stuff, so I'm eager to bake. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. My mom got a couple of nice items from Macro because if you don't know, Macro sells clothes, and she got a couple of winter things, a couple of pajamas, you know, those kinds of things because she had seen them and she was like, I really like this dress. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's go get it. So she got that. I got some baked goods, well, stuff to bake with. So that was the Macro trip. And then afterwards we drove for takeaways on the way home. And we went to Nando's for the takeaways. So my father and I go into the Nando's branch to order the food. And they're like, it's busy, a 15-minute wait time. We like, perfect. Because we had driven past a place called Something Nice. And they sell the red polonies that my father likes to feed the dogs. But they also sell like ice creams, Cook Sisters, things like that. And on a Sunday, it's fresh. So we got in the car, drove back to the main road. Went in, I got ice cream because I had bought cones at Macro, sugar cones, the chocolate ones, it's so good. And I got ice cream, we got Cook Sisters and the polonies for the dog. Then back in the car, back to Nando's, pick up the takeaway. We still had to wait like another 5-6 minutes, so not too bad. And then we went home, ate. And then I finally got to watch this movie on Star Life. And it was so good. It had such a good plot twist. And I was actually so happy that I could finally watch one of those movies on Star Life because I always seem to miss it. A couple weeks ago when I went to Port Elizabeth, I ended up missing the movie I wanted to watch on that Sunday because I was driving home and I got home at about, I think, 8 o'clock in the evening because we were driving for like 10 hours, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long ride home. So I was so glad I got to watch that movie. And my mom watched a little bit of it, but she was like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go lay. I'm like, you do whatever you want, mommy, you do you. So yeah, we just chilled. We ate lunch. There was still enough Nando's left over for supper. And yeah, that was the day. It was super chilled. There was no stress. My brother did the dishes. My sister made coffee and things. There was no stress on Sunday, and I think that was kind of the best thing as a parent you can ask for, because I think the last thing you want to do on a day to celebrate you is make decisions and stress about things. So that was definitely, I think, something nice for the day. I do like to still go out with my mom separately, one-on-one for like a lunch. So I'm sure I'll do that maybe next week. This week has just been a bit hard, but you'll find out about that in next week's episode. Trust me. But other than that, it was chilled. It was nice. I can definitely say that it was, if you ask me from my perspective, I think it was a nice Mother's Day for my mother to have, because nothing was rushed. When we had coffee and donuts and breakfast the morning, it was chilled. When we went there, it was calm. When we were in Macro, it wasn't even that full. So there was parking aplenty. The store itself was not overly busy. It was such a good day to just have fun, and like the sun was out as well, so that was nice. Yeah, it was really, really cool. So yeah, that was how my Mother's Day went. And the song of the week for Mother's Day is an annual song I always use, but it is Meghan Trainor's Mom song, featuring her own mother in the song. And I thought it was such a cool little thing that she added into the song itself. I'm sure I've mentioned this before the last time I used it, but it was like such a cool, sound clip, that's the word, to include in a song of her mother. And she references the song she's recording, and she's like, yeah, I'm just recording my mom's song, and the words her mother says she makes lyrics out of. So I'm just like, that is such a sweet notion. So yeah, that is me for this week. To my bestie who's celebrating her first Mother's Day on this past Sunday, happy Mother's Day. And to everyone else as well, happy Mother's Day. And to the same bestie who's having her baby's first birthday, happy birthday, baby. You know who you are. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. To everyone else listening, I hope you have a fabulous week. Enjoy the weekend, and I'm excited to consistently be putting out this podcast again and on time. So thank you for bearing with me. Explanation in next week's episode. So I'll see you then. But until we get there, as usual, I'm going to ask you to please keep being a better being. And I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.